timeout. Pitcher's got to step off. The catcher's got to ask the ump for time or something. You can't let him get out that far. When you don't have a good thrower behind the plate, he's going to steal.
Well struck left field. And one hops off the wall, and this could score both runners. Runner from second crosses the plate, and they lead by 2.
Gets him on the board first, coming through with 2 RBIs on that swing. Absolutely punished that pitch. Wasn't fooled in the slightest. 109 off the bat. I think that means you put a pretty good swing on it.
Line, and that's a base hit. Schneider coming home. He'll score easily. It's an RBI single, and they take a 3-run lead. So 2 down. Now here is Kazuma Okamoto. Sat out last night's game, but back in there today. And that's a fair ball. Relay to second. Not going to get him. He's in there.
First pitch fastball in a great spot to do some damage, and he's squaring it up nicely.
That one is absolutely belted. And a foul ball. Santander launched a homer in his most recent game. 2 on, 2 outs. Hot shot to first base, and he snags it to end the inning. Geraldo Perdomo stands in now for the Diamondbacks. Foul ball there.
I got traded 3 times in the offseason in my career. He's adjusting to a different set of teammates, different routine, different vibes altogether. It'll be interesting to see how he performs.
And there's 1 down. Time to take a look at the Diamondbacks lineup. Right through there for a strike.
Felt impressed that he went right after him on that first pitch. That's the key. Try to get ahead in the count, then you can play around a little bit more as the at-bat expands.
The 0-2. And it's fouled off. They'll do it again. The 0-2. Cut on and miss, struck him out. And a couple of quick outs.
Typically that high fastball, if it's close to the top of the strike zone, a hitter, if he's prepared for it, can get to it. But that one just had that little jump at the end, which indicates there's a good spin rate on it, and it didn't decrease in velocity as that hitter's internal clock would expect it to, and that's why you see the swing and miss.
That's a strike. Nice warm day here. Good baseball weather. Does that change anything, Chris?
Strike.
Well, looked at the fastball for strike 3 there to end the inning. Back here at Chase Field. And now for the Jays, Andres Jimenez. Pulled hard, but it's a foul ball. He's in the top 10 for most stolen bases in baseball right now, Singy. You can't ignore him when he gets on base. There's a swing and a drive. That one carrying. And into the pool. It's out of here. He flexes his power with that swing. And they add a run. It's 4-0.
He really needed that swing. He hasn't been getting a ton of results at the plate lately, so I'm sure that one felt especially good.
Now a screamer into the outfield. 1 down.
Man, that's one of those at-bats where you have to remind yourself it's about the process. He did everything right there. Nothing to show for it. But in your mind, you have to convince yourself that it was a very good at-bat.
Slings to first in time. And next for Toronto, Alejandro Kirk. Fly to center his first time. Rips one to left. That's a base hit. So a 2-out knock keeps the inning alive. Line drive, base hit. Throw stops the lead runner at second. 2 on and 2 out. Davis Schneider next up for the Blue Jays. Line shot into the gap should score at least one. One run across. Another comes in to score. It's 6-0.
Nicely done. Brings home two. Got a fastball, middle of the plate, jumped all over it. Absolutely smoked that ball.
Torey Lovullo is out of the...
For the Diamondbacks, number 30, Gilbert Diaz.
Hard grounder into the outfield for a knock. And they hold him at third. 90 feet away with two out.
For the Blue Jays, first baseman.
Smash that one through the infield for the knock. When it's hit that hard, it makes it very tough on the infielders to make any sort of play.
And the batter now, Kazuma Okamoto. Left field, way back there. That one hops off the wall and should score at least one. Headed for the plate. He'll score. 2 runs are in. It's 8-0.
Gets the job done as he brings home a pair. Put a pretty good swing on that one as he drove it out to deep left. Didn't quite have the right combination of launch angle and exit velocity to get it over the fence, but you're never going to be disappointed with extra bases.
That's a bullet, but it goes foul. Man at second. In the air, right field. Carroll on the move. And that is that. But 9 batters hit in the inning. 5 come around to score. Back here in the desert, bottom of the second.
Clearly down in this ball game, and you can't look at the deficit and try to get it all back in one swing. It's got to come one at bat at a time, and even shrink it down smaller, pitch to pitch. Make that guy on the mound work to get you out.
Larry Bullard, our umpire behind the plate.
Bullard's got a pretty standard strike zone. Sometimes they'll have you guessing a little bit, but overall, well-respected umpire in the league.
Fans another, and that's 3 straight strikeouts.
Thought it was a pretty good pitch. Top of the strike zone. We're seeing more fastballs in that location. Hitters, especially with 2 strikes, have to be ready to pull the trigger.
Nolan Arenado in the box now. No balls and a strike. High fly ball, right field. And there's 2 down. 2 hits in the game last night. And it's fouled away. Gosman, more than 100 career wins on the mound. A former first-round pick back in 2012.
This guy's not wasting any pitches. Hitters got to get into swing mode. This is a good time to expand the zone. Throw something maybe down in the dirt.
And takes low for ball 1. Popped up to the left into foul ground. Brings it in, and that'll do it. Back here at Chase Field, their offense has produced a lot of hits so far, as we see from the spray chart.
And they've really been peppering left field, as you can see from the graphic right. Might be time for the defense to slide a bit towards that side.
And wow, that one is way out of here. Another homer. His 2nd home run of the game, and they add to their lead. He absolutely crushed that one.
No doubt about that one, Boog. We knew it wasn't coming back.
And now it's Dalton Varsho.
No, that's
that one missed. Hit hard, but foul off to the left.
The real threats are coming up. Already given up a home run in this inning. It's going to really have to bear down.
Swing and a miss as he was late that time. Into center. Thomas sizing it up. Makes a nice grab at a full sprint. 1 away. So up next for Toronto, Ernie Clement. 1 for 2. 0-1. Swings through that one.
He has a tendency to chase out of the zone, and that slider that's down, that's one of his money pitches to get that swing and miss.
This one in the air, center field. Takes it in for the out.
Up next for the Blue Jays, catcher Alejandro Kirk.
Hitting the ball the other way, and that pitch did a good job to straighten him up a bit. Mission accomplished.
Fastball for a strike. Now here's a flare off the bat. Brings it in for the third out. Back here in the desert, bottom of the inning, Alek Thomas stands in now for the Diamondbacks.
Alek Thomas.
And immediately pumps in a strike to the left-handed hitter.
The heater is clearly giving him trouble early on in this one. I want to see him ready to swing against that pitch just a little more often.
Here's a rocket out to left. Sanchez takes it in for the out. And there's one down. First pitch misses. And that skips in the dirt. Ground ball right side. Tosses to first, and two straight set down to begin the bottom of the third. Two down, bases empty. Now here is Carlos Santana. Check swing, and he went. And that's strike one. And there's a rocket into the outfield. Around first and hustling for second. And he starts his afternoon off right with a double.
Up next for the Diamondbacks, shortstop Geraldo Perdomo.
First pitch just misses. Swing and a line drive, base hit into left field. Rounds third, headed for the plate. He will score, and they're on the board, but lots of ground to make up. The second, that's an RBI double.
Well done, drives in the run. Really good swing right there. He got a pitch that he knew he could handle, allowed himself to stay back just a tad bit longer, and he hit the ball on the screws.
Marte in the box now, takes strike one. Man on second, two down. Fouled off, and they'll do it again. The 0-2. Swing and a miss for the strikeout. They limit the damage here. So they pick up a run on 2 hits, no errors, and a man left. 3 innings complete. Jays 9 and the Diamondbacks 1. It's a bit of a blowout now, which gives us a bit more freedom here in the booth.
I'm not sure that's a good thing.
All right, Singy, in ballpark entertainment, you got a favorite mascot race?
Yeah, I love what they do in D.C. with the former presidents.
Somebody always gets tackled. They always get hurt.
I know, and it's just crazy. Imagine running around in those big, bulky suits, and somebody's always going to go down.
Santana takes it himself. Leadoff hitter retired in the 4th.
Up next for the Blue Jays, second baseman.
Do you remember when Tim Kirkjian ran in the sausage race in Milwaukee?
No, I didn't see that one.
Yeah. Yeah, they used one of the kid-size ones.
You know, this isn't exactly a mascot race, but I love what they do in Atlanta with the freeze.
Out towards right center field. Thomas on his way over. Pulls it down, and he makes the catch. 2 down.
I wanted to race the freeze at one point. I don't think my hamstrings could hold up for it now.
I feel like 5 years ago you could have handled the freeze. It would have been fun, and I would bait you into it and try and get you to train to race the freeze, and it just never materialized.
Yeah, I appreciate that you had enough confidence in me.
And that is that. Back at the ballpark, and in this series it has been lights out on the mound as we take a check of the numbers. Carroll swings through that one as he comes to the plate for the second time today. There's a swing and a miss. Goes down swinging for the strikeout. He picks up his 5th strikeout on the hill.
Well, he's looking great so far. It helps when over 80% of your first pitches are strikes. He might be able to go the distance if he keeps this up.
And a big swing and a miss. On the ground, right side. Over to first. Already 2 gone here in the home 4th.
Up next for the Diamondbacks, third baseman, Nolan Arenado.
2 outs, base is empty. Nolan Arenado stands in now for the Diamondbacks. On the ground to the left. Jimenez throw to first. And they get Arenado for the out. And it's a 1-2. Welcome back and take a look at some hot hitting in this series as we check out the numbers. Swings through that one for strike 1. Activity in the Arizona bullpen. Blake Walston, the left-handed reliever, appears to be getting loose. Stroud warming up as well. Swing and a miss as he was out front. Fly ball pretty well struck right field. That's back. That'll make it out of here. So he goes the opposite way with that one, and they boost their lead. That's their 3rd home run of the game.
They're having a lot of fun at the plate in this one. They've got the long
For the
Anthony
Diamondbacks,
Santander at the plate.
24, Cade Stroud.
And there's a foul ball. Nobody on, nobody out with a run in, and we're at the top of the 5th. Misses the sweeper.
Well, pretty clear to me. He was trying to go deep right there, but you got to get a pitch that you can handle.
Got him. 1 away.
Up next.
Here's Andres Jimenez. He's got a couple homers already, so can he possibly do it again?
Come on, man. Of course he can. Those 2 he hit were legit, and he looks pretty locked in right now at the dish.
Hot shot, and he can't knock it down.
Oh, this has been a really nice game at the plate for him. He looks locked in. I know that was a ground ball, but it was absolutely hammered through the infield. That's not one you're excited to get in front of if you're an infielder. You know they used to say, charge it. Crazy.
Man at first, 1 away. Swing and a ball hammered left field. That's got a chance. And that's going to bang against the wall. And it'll be runners at second and third, only 1 away. Now the number 2 hitter, Ernie Clement. 1 for 3. Popped up. Marte settles underneath it. And there's 2 away. Gap shot should score at least 2. 1 run is in. Another comes in to score. And he's safe at second with a 2-run double.
Picks himself up a couple of ribbies. Nice line drive to the pull side right there, but he didn't spin off of it. That's the key. You still have to extend through the baseball in order to hit a line drive like that.
Swing and a ball lifted in the air. And that is that. Back here at Chase Field, we head to the bottom of the 5th. Gabriel Moreno stands in now for the Diamondbacks. Delivers a pitch in for a strike at 95. Right through there for a strike.
Quickly down 0-2 in the count. I think you got to choke up a little bit, spread out the feet. You don't know what the velocity or the location of this next pitch is going to be.
Oh, 0-2 now. Caught him looking for the K.
Well executed pitch on the outside part of the plate.
Center fielder, Alex Thomas.
Late on that fastball.
These hitters have been very aggressive early in the count, but when you're down, you might want to be a little more patient. Take some pitches, see if you can extend those at bats and get some base runners on.
On the ground to third. Dives, but it kicks off his glove. No play. That's an infield single. 1 down, and it's Lourdes Gurriel Jr. Grounded out his first time up. High fly ball out towards left field. Carrying well. Pulls it in on the warning track. And first offering is fouled off. Swings through that.
Man, that's just a nasty splitter. Bottom falls out of it. You don't see a lot of guys throw that these days, but I tell you what, he's got a good one.
Started to go at the 1-2. A check on it to third. And he won around. Not an easy call there, but that puts an end to the inning. 1 left for Arizona. They're looking up at a 12-1 deficit. Welcome back. A few highlights to help tell the story of the game. Davis Schneider will hit next. Swing and a ground ball out to short. 1 pitch and 1 out. Hit hard on the ground to short. Throws to first in time. 2 quick outs to open the top of the 6th. Torey Lovullo is out of the dugout. Now on the mound for the Diamondbacks, Paul Sewald. He's into the game with the bases empty. Swing and a ball popped up. Marte under it. And that'll do it. Nothing doing for the Blue Jays, but don't shed a tear. They're up 12-1. So back to the top of the Arizona lineup. Geraldo Perdomo now at the plate.
Picked up an RBI in his last at bat. Still their only run of the game so far.
Up.
0-2 now. Struck him out swinging. Strikeout number 8.
I'm impressed by the number of first pitch strikes. He's not afraid of contact. Some guys, they'll nibble just because they don't want to get hit hard. That's not what we're seeing here.
The Jays up big in this one here in the bottom of the sixth. Out to short, Jimenez. Slinging it to first in time. This is Corbin Carroll.
3-pitch strikeout last time up. Got to put up more of a fight in this one.
And a good fastball to start him off. That's strike one.
Oh.
Right through there for a strike. Got him swinging for the strikeout. That's his 9th strikeout so far. It's the Blue Jays 12 and the Diamondbacks 1. Back here in the desert, and now for the Jays, Anthony Santander. That one fouled off. Swing and a miss, and he was fooled. The Diamondbacks with some movement in the pen. Blake Walston getting ready to go. Soroka, the right-hander, also getting loose. Puts it in the air out towards left center. Gurriel moving under it. Brings it in, and there's one down. First pitch swinging. Here comes the 0-1. That one hammered but pulled foul. The Blue Jays up big in this one here in the top half of inning number 7. Out towards right center field. Takes it in for the out. So back to the top of the order. Dalton Varsho next up for the Blue Jays. 1 for 4 with a double. Oh, man, that smoked him on the mound. Gets it there in time, though, and they do get the 3rd out of the inning. It's the Blue Jays 12 and the Diamondbacks. Welcome back as we take a look at their upcoming schedule.
Well, in an 0-0 count, not every strike is a good strike for a hitter. I like the plate discipline there.
And that is out of play. Here's the 0-2. Battling here as he fouls it away. Swing and a miss. Struck him out. And one away in the bottom of the 7th.
Probably showing some pretty dominating stuff out there in this one. Not just in terms of swing and miss, but also in terms of command. You know, all the strikeouts, they kind of speak for themselves, but you don't walk anyone, you're demonstrating that you have the confidence in your abilities to truly go right after opposing batters.
Arenado in the box again. Takes a strike. That's in there. That's strike two.
All right, now he may have not liked either of those first two pitches or agreed with the umpire's calls, but at this point, he's going to have to bear down and be ready to hit anything close to the zone. Well, that at-bat seemed to be over as soon as it started. 3-pitch strikeout. You've got to be better at the plate right there, at least to foul something off, extend that at-bat.
On the ground, and that one finds its way through, and that keeps the inning going.
Up next for the Diamondbacks.
Alec Thomas now.
Center fielder, Alec Thomas.
And immediately pumps in a strike to the left-handed hitter.
Pretty amazing. His first pitch strike percentage over 90%. You know you're getting something in the zone first pitch. So if you're a hitter, you got to be ready to let it fly, even though he's had a lot of success on that first pitch of the at-bat.
Hit on the ground to short. Jimenez. And that's the third out. It's the Blue Jays 12 and the Diamondbacks 1.
For the Diamondbacks.
Welcome back, and a new arm.
Leading off for the Blue Jays.
You're out.
Third baseman, Ernie
3.
Jimenez.
Out. You're out. Out. Out.
Here's El Marte. 0 for 3 in this one. Late with the swing there.
So impressive how the velo is still there even this deep into the outing.
Delivers a pitch in for a strike at 95.
I think he was sitting off speed right there because he just let the fastball go by.
And down on strikes. And one away.
Now this pitching staff has been merciless against him in this one. I mean, he struck out 6 times in this series, and we've seen no adjustment out of him so far. This lineup is having a tough time finding a good rhythm at the plate. Their swings are disjointed, which tells me they're having issues with pitch recognition.
The 0-2. Swing and a miss, struck him out. And Arizona with just one out left.
Clearly trusting his stuff in this one, Boog. Feeling really good about what he's working with, and that really allows a guy to attack hitters. You know, such an important mindset to have out there on the mound, especially when you're ahead in the count with 2 strikes.
They're down to their final strike.
All right, there's number 8, 1 away.
Got him, and that's the ball game.
It seemed like from the first pitch of this ball game, this guy was going to get it done. A quality start. Who knew he'd throw a complete game and get the victory? But an excellent job of continuing to just throw what the catcher put down. He navigated through this ball game, a jam here, a jam there, but ultimately it was an outstanding outing.
12-1 is the final. For Chris Singleton and our entire outstanding crew here at MLB The Show, I'm John Sciambi. Thanks for joining us.
Sad, riding my whip and Rodeo Drive. Shawty, I still like Fredo.
Look around, search all I can find. People missing me out of their mind. Looking through the light, gonna make you blind. So sophisticated mankind. Brother plan seems to work. Economic growth is saving the earth. Sing alive, tell me what is it worth? A deeper love from the day of your birth. I start losing it, I'm out of control. Part I'm losing, part I'm playing the role. They get your money, do they get to your soul? I bet you, honey, what you need.